As the prophet of esports, I rely on trustworthy and meaningful data every day. Data from our research partner YouGov offers the most complete view of esports fans and gamers in the world, providing context to who they are, what they think, the brands they buy, and things they do. YouGov's connected insights and research services inform strategy at every level. If you're a team, a brand, agency, or rights holder, you should be talking with YouGov. Their partners measure and maximize ROI and are telling compelling stories with data. Visit yougov.com/gaming-esports to learn more. This is going to be a quick story, and then we'll jump into something a bit meatier. But Riot moves League of Legends US Championship from Prudential Center due to COVID-19. So basically, Riot has announced that they can't, in good conscience, conduct a massive fan event at this time. The matches will instead be held at the LCS Arena. Jimmy B, you should be happy about this, in LA. So it went from being in our backyard to your backyard. What were you going to say, Jimmy B?
I'm still not going. I mean, I don't know what that does for me.
Well, seriously, why? I'm curious.
I assume they're not going to have fans. Why would it be different if they were in the Prudential Center?
Are they not going to have any fans at all?
There's no fans in the article.
Okay.
Actually.
I mean, I would assume that was the case. It's like, we can't have 20,000, but like we moved to a slightly smaller venue and now it's okay.
14?
And does anyone think this is, so two questions. One, does it work without the fans, right? I guess there's a simple question there. Two, is this the perfect air cover Overwatch League needed to cancel their own? Like, is this going to be the reason Activision Blizzard pulls out of doing anything Overwatch League?
I hope there's no debate here, because it's just a very simple yes and yes to me, right? Like, yes, it'll be easy to do without the fans. NBA nailed it last year with the bubble. And in fact, I think that the bubble format works even better in esports, because this is naturally a digital audience. I don't know why there aren't more esports arenas in development that feature screens like that for the fans to buy that fan experience where your screen is on in the arena, and they incorporate that to a greater extent. I haven't done one of those before, but I'm going to shot call that for the future, where there's going to be esports arenas that have that digital audience component to it, the way the NBA bubble did. So easy yes for me with that. And I'm sorry, part two was
around Overwatch.
Air cover.
Oh yeah,
Overwatch.
the excuse for Overwatch. I mean, yeah, like that's an even easier yes, I think, right?
Yeah, I think they try to use that as an excuse, but everyone knows there's no secret here. Y'all are a bunch of, I'm not going to say anything else, but yeah, I think they're going to try to use it as an excuse, and it's going to be very visible and clear that that's not why that's happening.
It's an interesting stance to take for Riot. I don't want to get into a large COVID discussion because that's ridiculous, but there's just every other sport is playing right now. It's a bit odd to, why they felt the need to do this. I do wonder, tinfoil hat, is it just more profitable not to do it at the arena?
Absolutely.
I don't know whether that's the case, but it's weird when we're about to have massively full football stadiums and stuff, and
also
Jeff, to your
can't
point,
do it in
sorry.
good conscience. I don't really understand that per se.
Jimmy B, go ahead.
I was just going to say also, I mean, you got to think of what kind of ticket sales they saw over the last month when it was announced, which is probably nothing.
You think? I thought it was sold out.
I think it's sold out. Yeah,
I thought it was
in
sold
out. First hour. Yeah,
I have not seen it. I bet it's sold out. I just can't believe it.
I had friends that were trying to get tickets.
You're right. It was sold out.
It was out.
Is there a question here of though, like, does Riot lead the way? In other words, what Riot does, everyone else in esports copies, or do we see people breaking from what Riot does?
I think Rainbow Six is a good example of breaking from what Riot does. They've had like really unique approaches to tournaments, broadcasts, and really everything in their esports catalog. But I think for a long time, especially given the success of the LCS in North America, they've led the way. They're the tier 1 production. Prior to them, it was ESL and Counter-Strike. And so it was ESL when we really didn't have these established leagues, but now Riot's taken over with the LCS in North America at least.
So you feel that Riot still has this leadership position where if they have an in-person event, everyone else will have. If they cancel an in-person event, everyone else cancels. Like, is that Is this the
It's
kind of
I think it's because their events are almost the ones that are guaranteed to pretty much sell out. Like, I don't know of any other esport that gets, maybe Rocket League as well, right? Like, if Rocket League and Riot Games, like, I think those two are great barometers to be using to see if you should be throwing an event in esports at this time.
Well, so it's really interesting because the reason I assumed it had a low turnout wasn't obviously League or Riot. It was more so the location, which was heavily affected by COVID, right? New York and Jersey with these urbanized areas where there was massive exodus, and then the resurgence of Delta variant and these newer concerns with COVID. So I mean, this really changes everything. So I'm sorry. The question being, what if Riot pulls out of something, even though they're sold out? Do we see others doing the same? I don't think other developers can afford, or can really afford to do that, right? Like, if you are, I mean, there's one Riot, right, and there's one Activision, and let's throw Epic up there too, right? If you're not one of those three, and you have a sold out title with 100,000 seat or a 50,000 seat arena, why would you want to cancel that? You know, it's a harder thing for you to stomach than Riot. So that's my take on it. Obviously, there's trends and there's an appropriate brand presence and way to conduct yourself, social consciousness, right, and health issues. But you're a for-profit business. You have a very hot title, and as we see with Overwatch, these things come and go. And if you have a sold-out event at an arena, especially right now when people are scared to get out of their homes, still 2 years into this, I don't know why you would cancel it. That's a big risk to me, to your brand.
Well, we're assuming that the other events are sold out. I think the assumption would probably be that they maybe haven't gone on sale yet and they cancel preemptively,
right,
knowing that maybe they wouldn't sell out and using this as an excuse ahead of time. But I agree with your point. If they are sold out, yeah, they probably would go through.
So maybe I bent that to make my argument a little bit. But, yeah.
In your hypothetical world, yes, I think I agree with you.